Okay, so you have successfully created an account with Good Grants. And now we're going to slip over and log in and walk through the application process. So first of all, make sure that you're registered and that you have confirmed the email address that you entered to register. Enter that and your password and log in. And here we are going to we're going to start an application. And it'll take you to the first tab. So I'm going to walk you through each of these tabs. If you're having an issue with one particular tab, I'm going to try to insert some markers in the video so you can skip to the places where you may have an issue. But let's focus first on this tab that says Start Here, Important Information. As it states, it's important that you read this because this page will describe to you the projects that we are looking to fund and those that are not eligible at this time. So under projects that we would like to fund, you'll see that they fall into 4 categories: production, promotion, distribution, and resources. Note that in parentheses here, we've given some examples in each of those categories, but those are just examples, and you may have something that falls within the broader category, and it might not necessarily be listed here. So be creative. You can also walk right over here, and I've given you some sample projects that might fit within the guidelines. Let's take a look at that. So if you click that link, we have 3 separate examples of types of projects that we're looking to fund. Within these samples, we've given an example of a project. In this case, this young man would like to record an EP, and he is the designee for his band. We've given you a detailed description of the project so that you can see what we're looking for in terms of a description. We've specifically explained how that project will help, and then we've provided a detailed budget. But you'll notice that this budget is simple. So we don't have to get overly complicated, but it's well researched. Within this budget sample, this person has contacted a local recording studio to find out the cost of recording and how long it might take to get that done. So this person has done their homework, and they're telling us the activities within the project, the vendor they'll be using, the amount of time that each activity will take, and then they've given us a grand total. And that's what we'd like to see from you. And then you have 2 other examples here as well. So we're going to close that and come back to this tab. We'll also have a list here of ineligible projects, so please read through that. There are many things that we do not cover with this particular sum of money that we have to give out. There are restrictions to what we can pay you for, and so read those very carefully. Note in particular that your project needs to take place between September 15th of this year and June the 30th of 2023. We can't support activities that happen prior to that, and they must be complete by the 30th of June. So keep that in mind when you're reading through the guidelines. And then we have a description of who can apply and who cannot. So let's focus on who can apply. We're looking at independent working musicians within the greater Portland metropolitan area. We've listed the zip codes that are applicable here. You need to reside there and be able to show us that you reside there if we ask. An independent working musician simply means that you're working as a musician in commercial environments. You could be doing that in clubs or venues. Independent simply means that you're not full-time employed by a nonprofit music institution like the symphony or opera. This round of funding does not apply to those people, and that is because there is already a very nice, robust system for funding nonprofit musicians, and we're trying to help those who don't fall within that category. All right, so read through who can apply, and note that you will need to provide your tax status if you receive an award. Then we also have a list of people who cannot apply. That includes non-musicians, the nonprofit musician, which we described above, and people who are employed by our organization, or who are board members or family members, that sort of thing. So read through it all. And then once you can confirm that you reside in the area and that you can prove your tax status, we'll press save. We'll move on to the next tab. So now we're under applicant information, and everything is self-explanatory. You're going to want to put your name. We'll do our project name, which is, in my case, I have a band called Mojo Holler, so that's what I'm going to put in there. Number of years I've been professionally active, a short bio. So we'd strongly encourage you to build your application outside this program. Have Google Docs or Word document where you can build this stuff ahead of time. And drag and drop your bio information here. It doesn't have to be super long. This is your short bio, but give us an idea of who you are. Then we're going to put your website. That's optional if you do not have a website, we understand, but we do want to see your web presence if you have it. So I'll do a link. You could also upload an electronic press kit with a link. You can just, if that's on your website, just add that in there. Your legal physical address, very important. Make sure that we have your city, state, zip code. Your email address, I'm going to change this so it matches the application. And a phone number. All right, so we're just going to, you do want to put your phone number in there so we can reach you if we have some issues. And then we'll go save and next. All right. So now we've moved to tab 3, which is voluntary demographic info. So here we are looking for you to tell us a bit more about yourself. One of the main priorities that we have with the ECHO Fund is to give priority to people who have been underrepresented and undersupported in being able to access funding for their art. So one of the things that we'd love for you to do is to let us know more about who you are by adding a contributor, which just gives us some demographic information. Knowing who you are helps us to live up to our intention, to really make sure that we're providing this financial resource to a diverse group of people. So here, you would click Add a Contributor, and then you'll have a drop-down menu. You can give your age. I'm an old lady, so we'll click that. And I'm going to click this. And you may also click more than one if you'd like. And you may want to self-identify and add more information. And if so, go ahead and do that. And then we're going to go down and choose sex, gender, or you may prefer not to answer, or you prefer to self-identify. And if so, please add information there. Are you a person with disability or disabilities? There's also a link here where you can get a little bit more information about how you might think about that. And make sure that you choose one of those 3 answers. And let's say I have a second person. I would click Add Contributor, and maybe I'm applying for a project for my band. You would add the contributor here. I'm going to save and go to the next tab. All right. So here we're looking for the bulk of information about your project. So let's say that the one sentence description for a project is a recording an EP. And I'm going to put the full project description. So what we want here is to know what you're going to do, who is going to do it. That includes the people involved in the project from the musician standpoint, band members, but also the vendors and consultants or others that you may use to properly complete the project. If you're using someone local, please make sure that you let us know that, because we're encouraging and reviewing applications and we are looking for local vendors if at all possible. So please try to do that. We want to know how you'll do the project and what the end result will be. So if we pop over to the sample Echo Fund projects, we'll just grab some text. And let's see here. Here's a detailed description. Doesn't have to be long. It simply needs to be thorough. So we're going to grab this. And you maybe have a Word document or a Google Doc, and you just go over and grab that project description. So this person is seeking funding for, and you notice that they're telling us exactly what they're going to be doing with the money. They're what it's for, where they're going to be doing it, and they also want a short run of CDs printed. And let's have them add the end result will be that I can receive more exposure to my audiences and potential gigs. And yours will be different. All of them will probably be different, but just make sure that you kind of address all of these things that we're asking for. Then we ask you about your timeline. So just give us an idea. It's okay if things change, but give us a rough idea of what you're thinking in terms of the way your project will play out. If you expect that, let's say you've contacted the studio and they can work you in late November, give us a sort of idea of if you recorded in November, what would happen and how will you have that all completed, including the pressing of the short run of CDs in this particular project. All of that needs to be done before the end of June of next year. So describe here and give us a start date. And let's say that this person is going to go into the studio in November and they expect that they will be completed by next year. And let's say that he's expecting he'll have it done by the beginning of June. So just give us an idea there. And then last but not least, please let us know how the project will help you grow creatively or reach your goals as a musician. So here what we're looking for is tell us how this is going to level you up. So you'd want to expand. See here where this applicant says the end result will be that I can receive more exposure to my audiences and potential gigs. Talk a little more about that there. Doesn't have to be too long, but give us more information about how you'll level up. All right. And let's go to the next tab. All right. So we've shown you some examples. I'm giving you that link again, but remember here that we have examples of what a proper budget will look like. It's detailed, but it does not have to be complicated. Now you can either upload that or you can insert it as text. I'm going to let's take this budget. I've given you 3 examples. This is a project for funding for a music video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that information for my budget. I'm going to choose text entry and I'm going to enter that budget as text. And what do we have here? We've got a detailed budget that's very simple. This person has done her homework and she knows the vendor that she's going to use to record her video, how long it'll take. That's $100 an hour at 8 hours. The rental of the studio space, the post-production editing, and social media distribution. She's got all that in there. The total project will be $2,500. That's all we need. Your other option is to upload, and you can create a document separately and upload it here if you need. And now we'll move to the optional tab. It could be that you don't have a web presence, or that in some way you want to send additional information so we can know more about your work. In this case, we have offered you the opportunity to upload a maximum of 5 files, truly optional. More of these files does not impact you either way, other than we just want to know about you. So if you don't upload this, that's okay, but we'd also like to hear from you if you weren't able to give us links in the previous tabs. So here you can upload up to 5 files that can include PDF. So it can be a document, a photo, or even a video. If you want to do that, please do so there. And here we have the details about the application award, timeline, how we're going to review, and the expectations of you. So we're close to being complete. Submissions are due between June 24th and July 29th of 2022. There are no extensions. We expect to notify everyone no later than September 15th of 2022. All of the activities must take place between September 15th of 2022 and June 30th of 2023. The application process, we've kind of walked through that, and the main thing is to ensure that you are registered with an account and that you fill out the application completely. The review criteria. So we're going to be looking at 5 things: the benefit to you, the impact of the award, a demonstrated planning and prep. That's where we talked about that budget and actually doing some homework to find out what this will cost. Then we have the local impact. We'd love to see you work with local vendors. We also understand that particularly with gear, that might not also be possible. So if it's not possible, no problem, but just let us know that you've tried. And the last is diversity. I want to focus on this for a moment. We are acknowledging that certain groups of people have endured systemic and cultural impediments, and we do want to actively prioritize applications from a diverse cohort of musicians and projects. So please, it's not required, but please let us know more about you in the voluntary demographic info if you would like to share that with us. We will not be measuring your application based on artistic merit. Now, what we will do is staff is going to review your application just to ensure that you do indeed reside in the area and that you fit the general guidelines for applying. And then after that time, we'll have a review committee that will take over, and that consists of music professionals, people adjacent to the music community, some musicians who will be participating in an in-depth review and subsequent awards. One of the last things to reiterate is that if you do receive an award, we ask for you to provide a W-9 with either a social security number or a taxpayer identification number, that sort of thing. We'd like you to acknowledge MusicPortland Bridge in your print and online materials that relate to any work that was funded by this grant process. And we'd like you to participate in a video interview that we can share. If you have any challenges with these 2 requirements on publicity, reach out to us and we will help. Just write us at info@musicportland.org. We will also, at the conclusion of this in June, late June, early July of next year, we'll contact you to just do a video or a final brief report to talk about how your project went. All right. right, so let's save that and go to the next tab and the final tab. So here we have sample applications. We also have an email address, info@musicportland.org. You can also reach out to me directly, Missy, MISSI, like Mississippi, MISSI at musicportland.org. I'll be happy to help you. I can't write your application, but I can certainly help you with any technical problems that you might have, or I can find the answers from someone. So feel free to reach out. We're looking forward to this, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and let us know if we can be of any help. I'm going to submit this application, and there we go. Thanks very much.